just not that. Or it's just not the shoes, the suit he's wearing, or the kind of language or the body language he has. It's a mixture of everything, right? Also, when I showed you both those pictures, one of you said that he seems to have a lot of positive energy. You cannot feel energy through a picture, but you felt it just by looking at him. That's what happens, okay? Now, to simplify, see, if we go into details, we'll need like gallons of coffee and tons of paper, okay? But the simple rule we have to follow is comfort versus discomfort. Sometimes when someone is pleasant, he's talking nicely, he appears nicely, he's sitting straight, follows all the etiquette rules, we feel we are comfortable with him. While someone who is dressed inappropriately, has tattoos on all his body, okay, he sits like, as if he's our guest, we don't feel comfortable. And that's our human brain, that's how we are wired. It's automatic, okay? So look for the comfort and discomfort whenever you meet someone for the first time, second time, third time, every time. Because they already know it. It's just that we are so busy with our WhatsApp that we don't actually take the pains to look inwards and see that, okay, this is the kind of discomfort. Something called gut feeling, intuition, it comes from there. When we miss it, we miss the attitude, okay, we miss the rapport, we miss the connection. So look for the cues for discomfort and comfort. Okay, now that's my assistant who's got nasty. We all watch Bollywood movies, we do. Have you thought how much effort or detail goes into defining a character? Right from what he'll wear to how he'll speak. That's why looking at a villain we feel a bit discomforting, and looking at someone, now whatever he's wearing something very minimalistic and very low profile, yet we are comfortable looking at him. And he's overdressed. Whatever he's done, he's taken so much effort and pain to get into this getup, yet we are not comfortable. We feel a bit discomfort. So would you be afraid of him?
Yes.
Yes. And what do you think about him?
Very spiritual.
Okay. Okay.
Very
He's being like a child.
Pardon?
He's being like a child.
He's like a child. He's innocent. Okay. He may not be, but they adopt the kind of body language and dressing that we feel they are innocent. Okay. You already know these three of them. I want you all to close your eyes for 5 seconds and then open it. Forget who they are and tell me about each of them. Your first impression about the person with an orange jacket, the person wearing this cap, and the person who's standing in a white kurta. Close your eyes for 5 seconds. Forget who they are. Now open your eyes and tell me. Okay, I want every one of you to participate. We only have 2 people who are actively participating right now. Okay, 3 people.
First one is looking like he is having a vision and he is confident.
He is a visionary, he is confident, okay.
Achiever.
He is an achiever. Are you a fan of Modi? Okay. Yeah.
Good personality.
Okay.
He is trying to define something. Like he is trying to define something, that means he is trying to say something.
He's trying to make a point.
Correct. Like
So
his
like
expression,
Okay.
his hand movement,
Okay.
gesture.
More like a self-praise mode kind of a thing.
Arrogance.
Yes.
Okay.
Leader.
Leader.
But the body language is-
Body language is bit arrogant. Yeah.
Confident.
In my view, right, the second person, right, he's giving himself a feeling as if he is trying towards someone.
Okay.
And then he's in a relaxed pose. He has kept his hand like this, right? It is an indication, right, that he has had a revenge or something, he has won it, and right now he's in a relaxed position.
That's the most I mean, I've never got this type of answer. I've showed this picture to a lot of people. This is a very different answer that I've got.
He's in a very relaxed position. And
Okay.
he has won something and he has achieved something for himself.
Last one is looking like innocent. Because he's wearing clothes like that.
Struggler. Last one is struggler.
No, now I'm getting biased comments here. This man, who said he looks innocent? Okay. Why do you say that? What makes you say that?
Because
He's still
on his
bachelor.
face there's a smile on his face and
Okay.
he wears normal clothes. And if you say first time, there is some positive.
Why is you getting? Really?
I feel because of his hand going backwards, it's not a very positive gesture that he's.
Yes. So there are two important things that we can learn from this picture is that even though he has a good smile on his face, his dressing is simple and approachable, but with his hands here hidden, it seems that whatever he says, there is a hidden meaning to it or he's hiding something. We cannot trust him. This man, he's got open palms position, so even though he may be, one of his hand gesture might be, looking like as if he's arrogant, yet his eyes, his facial expressions makes him look more like a leader. And we shall skip the middle one. Okay. Okay. So why are we doing this exercise of looking at pictures and making first impressions about them? Is to make a point that when people look at you, when people see you for the first time, they too make impressions about you, judgments about you. Okay? And then when they go back, they go with some sort of judgments, snap judgments, we call them, in their mind, and whenever again you meet them, everything you do will go through that filter. So it can work for you or it can work against you. So it will all depend on the impressions that you make. Now, as I said that within 3 to 7 seconds, people tend to make snap judgments. And based on your first impressions, between those 3 to 7 seconds, people judge your economic level, your education level, your trustworthiness, social position, level of sophistication, moral character and success. If a girl is wearing too revealing clothes, we judge her instantly without knowing why is she wearing such clothes, right? This is how our brain works. Now, let's go into details. First impressions majorly defined by your appearance, body language, etiquette. Today we are going to discuss about introductions and greetings, and your virtual image, which means your social media, website, your electronic image. These days, before face-to-face first impression, people form impressions based on your CV and your social media profiles, right? So the kind of posts you do on your social media profile can, be troublesome for you. So, like, if talking on the lines of what Mr. Mayank was trying to say, from the candidate's perspective, the candidate's profile, like we all screen candidates' profiles on their social media profile, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or if the senior level, then what is the management, if their photo is there on the management team page of the company. So, what happens is that the candidate's perspective, we can judge him by the post that he is making on the social media page, whether he is religious, whether he is political, whether he posts something stupid, the kind of language that he uses to interact, the kind of comments that he has, the kind of pictures that he has put, okay, social and with his family, holidays, whatever. Looking at a corporate branding exercise from a social media perspective, what happens is that if you want to place yourself or your brand at a level, or if you want to prove that okay, we are at an edge over all other recruiters in Ahmedabad, people look for information, people look up to you for information, for guidance, especially candidates. So if you want to build your brand or your corporate brand, what your page should consist of is more of information available to both your clients and your candidates. If you put more pictures of events, picnics, holidays, what message you send across is that our company culture is fun loving. So if that's your message, no issues. But if your corporate brand image or image message is that our company culture is professional, or we are forward thinking, we can establish ourselves as thought leaders in this industry, then your posts or your social media page has to have those kind of posts. Okay, so what is important is the message that you want to convey, both in personal branding and corporate branding. So decide upon the message that you want to convey to your target audience and then build upon the brand. We'll talk about, okay, it's all about communication. So whatever you do, everything, even if you select a pen, you'll think about, okay, what this pen might communicate about myself to where I take it. Okay, the car you select for yourself, the clothes you wear. How many of you took time to think what you're going to wear today for this event?
Everyone.
It
How
was
much
actually
time?
told to them that they
Okay.
should come formally dressed up. So they
Okay.
did not have, they were relieved of the trouble of thinking too much about it in the morning.
But I bet still people would have thought, or it would have taken some time for them to decide, okay, I'm going to wear this, or I'm going to pair this with this. Especially people who are wearing ties. How much time did you take to decide this shirt and this tie combination? 15 to 20 minutes just to decide. How many of you were ready in 15 minutes? You were ready in 15 minutes? Okay.
Same here. Same here.
Okay. Okay. So you took pain to actually, think on the combination and stuff? Alright. Very good. We're going to discuss into detail how to simplify this thing so that you can save your 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. Alright. Your good or bad appearance affects the way you think. We saw two photographs in the starting, wherein the second photograph, there were a lot of comments that said that, he's confident, he's like a leader, okay? And the attitude, it was very visible on his face. Because the way you appear affects the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, his attitude. Did you see his body language? A sudden change, a sudden shift in confidence level. What you see in others. Okay, we all go to weddings.
Yes.
So I'm typically addressing ladies right now. When we all go to weddings, if we are not sure about whether we are, dressed well, we'll, and that happens, that's very natural, we'll look into what other people are wearing. Does that happen? Because we took so much time to decide, okay, we are wearing this, and after wearing this also, I'm not confident whether this is right or wrong. So what I'll do is, when I go to weddings, I'll look at other people, and then the only thing, my attention will be towards what other people are wearing. How many of you have experienced this?
Grishma, you are made a very honest admission, I must say.
It has happened to me, so it's okay if you admit it. How many of you have experienced this? You have? See, if I say I've experienced it, then people are ready to admit.
People come back very unhappy after that at home.
That's true, right? So we are conscious about, okay, and why do we do that? You know that? Because we seek comfort, and the moment we find someone who is not dressed properly, we're like, oh wow, I'm not the only one. So that's what we look for when we look into other people's dressing.
Or you can think other way also, na? That I am looking better than others.
Yes.
Yes, but then for that you have to be sure. If you are actually dressed well and if you are confident about it, you'll not look at other people's dressing. You'll notice people. You'll not notice people's dressing. You'll notice people. You'll notice their face. You'll notice their expressions. You'll notice, okay, whom should I go to and talk to? That's confidence. And if you're not confident, you'll look at people. You'll stand in the corner and only look at people's dressing. There's a difference.
No, really, actually, वो हमारा perception होता है कि हाँ, I am the one. But वहाँ पे जाके देखना तो पड़ता है कि really actually one हो के नहीं.
So that is what I'm talking about. That you're not sure. So वहाँ पे जाके अगर देखना पड़ता है, which means you're not sure.
Yes.
If you're sure, you don't have to look at what people are wearing. You only look at people. And you look for opportunities to connect with people. Because your mind is not tied up with what I'm wearing and what other people are wearing. Right? So the way you appear affects the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, what you see in others, how others see you and react to you. Very important. The way we appear, people react accordingly. And that happens. Have you ever been to a mall or a shop that is an expensive showroom? Okay. We all go to restaurants.
Yes.
Think of a situation where, let's say, your husband or your wife says, I want to go to Grand Bhagwati, Marriott, Fern, and you say, no, I'm not dressed properly. Very common. Has it happened to you? No, we are not dressed properly. Yes. It does happen, right? You become conscious. And then, even if your husband, no, it's okay, we are going to pay, these kind of comments, they come up. We're going to pay, it's okay, let's go. You go there. That consciousness is there on your face. That's quite visible. You cannot fake body language. Okay, you cannot fake non-verbals. Then, compare the kind of, the kind of, welcome, the kind of warmth in the waiters that come to receive you. There's a difference. He'll do that casually with you, and when you're spot on dressed, when you're dressed properly, like in your nice evening black dress with heels, properly, makeup done, or when you're in your navy blue casual jacket, whatever, in your loafers. When you step in, people will smile. And there's a difference in smiles, okay? The next time you go, look at the difference in the way people smile. The eyes should also smile. So if I smile like this, I'm smiling. If I smile like this, I'm not smiling. Okay? So even if they smile, there's a difference. So the way you appear, you get the response in accordance with that. Okay. Now how to determine your appropriate style? What to consider? Consider the environment. Few days back I was having a session with a company. They were into crash investigation. So whenever the crash happens on SG highway or wherever on the highway, they have to go there, they have to investigate, they have to work with the police, work with the hospital staff, and then collect the data from the victim's family, and they have to do all sorts of stuff. Sometimes they have to stand in heat on the middle of the road. And I was supposed to design uniform for them. And they said jeans for us are the most comfortable outfit. We can't be standing on the road investigating in formals. Right? So, consider your environment before deciding your appropriate style. Just as we discussed few minutes ago, we don't want to be robotic, okay? We don't want to just follow the science, wearing blue shirts, beige shirts, white shirts, black suit, tie. But we want to develop a style that defines us. I'll share an incident with you that one of my friends, he's a management graduate, and when he was in his business school, they had campus placements. And what happened was he was sharing his anxieties with me that each one of us, we are wearing blue blazers, white shirts, maroon ties, and the same kind of, a little bit of difference here and there. Otherwise, and he showed me the photograph of last year students, and they all were wearing the same sort of kind of a uniform. So he said that if I want to stand out, I have to do something that, you know, makes the those who have come for placements, makes them think that okay, I am more suitable for this role. And he wanted to do that through appearance. What we did was, in that navy suit, white shirt and that maroon tie, we just we added a pocket square. That's it. And that made all the difference. It made him stand out, a very little thing, but it showed how concerned he is. The recruiters that came to that placement, for that placement, they thought that he has an eye for detail. Yeah.
I'm basically deviating you a bit, from this topic.
Okay.
I have a question in my mind that I want to ask you. See, emotion plays a very important role in the human psyche.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know that at all times in your life, in social and practical situations, you're able to be the person that you want to be.
Not really, but that
And if
does
you're
not.
not able to be, then there is a deviation from the actual self. How are you able to bring yourself back to the real self?
Okay, so that's absolutely rightly said that we play different roles.
Because what happens,
okay?
I don't know, since childhood, we have been conditioned by our parents and school. Then when we grow, right, then we have been conditioned by the college and the friends. When we marry, we have been conditioned by our wives and the other family members. So at all times, right, we are not really our actual self. We are someone else only seated over here facing you.
Yes.
Understand my statement?
Yes, yes. And that is why that approach, you.
I don't want to put you in confusion.
No. See, that's a very good question. That's a very nice question. And as an image consultant, there are a lot of questions coming to me like this. Because when I say that you have to develop an attitude, you have to know yourself, this is the first question that comes up, that I'm playing a lot of roles. I'm wearing a lot of masks. Okay? I'm playing a father, I'm playing a husband, I'm playing a son. Okay, I'm playing a professional, I'm playing a tennis sports person, whatever. So, when you're wearing a lot of faces, if you want to be yourself, the only key is those simplified solutions, comfort versus discomfort. Look for what comforts you in playing each role. Also, whether you can justify yourself into each role is debatable. We don't want to get into that. But if you can be yourself or not is the question. Playing each role. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, there are some
Am I able
moments
to
where
understand?
I got what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that, you need to give a conscious effort to be yourself all times. That is what you're trying to say.
Yes, but then you don't have to make any efforts once you know who you are. See, each one of us have got one
But madam, the thing is that, growth and life both are very dynamic situations.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many situations, right, that expect us to behave in such a way we are not even aware about it.
Okay.
So in those situations, what will you do?
No, see, once again, I come to that approach.
You are referring to your your conversations with your wife? There you cannot. I'll help you. I'll tell you one thing. Interacting with no offense to the ladies, interacting with women. I read it on my LinkedIn. Somebody had sent me. It's like reading a software that product code that comes. So in her conditions, yes. At the end, you say, I accept.
A lot of people, sir. In fact, our parents are there, our family members are there.
Yes.
We are constantly switching our personality. We are changing our person constantly, because when I'm with my mother, right, then I'm a different person. When I'm with my sister, I'm a different person. When I'm with my father, I'm a different person. Because somewhere, right, we are trying to form a balance between their expectations and our expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
So then again, we are back to that approach. What I do plus how I do makes me who I am. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not able to relate properly.
Okay, okay. Think about it. In the stress of playing those roles properly, you're not yourself. And because that you make efforts on playing those roles properly, you look for external comforts from people. And that makes you away from who you are.
Correct.
Okay. I get you. I mean, you were trying to tell me, right, that like because my circle of expectation is very high, I guess. Or when you use the term external comfort, what exactly do you mean?
Okay, with external comforts, I feel I want to make a point that, let's say for example, your relationship with your children. You know what your children want, okay, and you get stressed out. Okay, this is what the need of hour is, that I have to spend time with my children. Something that you don't want at that point in time, okay. So what you think is that, okay, my children expect this from me. If I don't do this, what will people say? What will my child say? What will my wife say? That becomes the center of your thoughts and feelings. And that.
So I think that I should reduce on those thoughts.
Exactly.
I
So
should be.
whatever disconnects you from who you are, okay, break those channels. Because, see, what happens is that dhire, there's a disconnection, and the moment someone comes and says, define yourself in one word, it's a challenge. Alright.
Actually, that's a very interesting thought. I think many of us, we over a period of time forget to think about us and to even kind of reflect on what is the person inside me asking me to do, or what is its expectations.
There is no, in fact, sir, just to share with you, right, in most personalities I've seen, right, there is no connect between thought, behavior and emotion.
Yes.
Yes.
They are, they speak something, their body language is conveying something else.
It's a circle. What they do, if they follow the first approach, what happens is that thoughts, feelings, actions, again thoughts. How they behave, and then they feel guilty about it, they make judgments about their own self. Then, to make up for it,
Another, yeah.
yes.
Very true.
So, it's a cycle. If you are in this approach, all your life, what you will do, keep yourself busy with this. And then, eventually, disconnect your own self. Right? So, who I am, plus how I am. Okay, I'll share an incident with you. You all know Ratan Tata, right? Okay. There is something interesting I read few days back. Sorry? Oh, okay. In Tata Group of Industries, there's a rule. Okay? They have a department, yeah?
Blood times they are having.
You want to share that?
No,
No, I want you to share that. Please. So we are going to build rapport with people. I want you to talk.
They are having their own blood banks, and they want each employee to give their blood. And in correspondence to that, they are giving a leave to that employee whenever they want. So
An extra leave.
So to encourage the employees, ki yes, in case if someone wants to take extra leave, then they can donate their blood. And means someone asking the question to Ratan Tata, ki why you are collecting that bloods? Means the blood get reformed in our body within 24 hours. But Ratan Tata says ki no, it's not only the reformation and means losing my business.
Okay, I'll have to, because the question is incomplete and the question was really, really interesting. The question, I'm sorry.
No.
You can continue after that. The question was that the person asked Ratan Tata that, in 24 hours the blood gets reformed. Plus, a lot of employees are taking this as an advantage. They are taking undue advantage of this policy and taking more and more leaves during the weekend. So, if you donate blood, you are also allowed to take leave on Fridays, which normally they are not allowed to. If you donate blood, so there are a lot of employees who take advantage of this policy. Please continue.
Then Ratan Tata mentions to them ki it's not loss of my business, but yes, it is to saving the life of one many. Means who can give us too many hours, and who is the advantage of that life.
So Ratan Tata said that it does not matter to me if that employee gets an extra leave or I am at a loss of this many employee hours, but the blood he donated will add extra hours to someone else's life, and to me that matters more than the employees hour that I lose. Is that approach the second one? That is why it is called a leader's approach. Okay, we come back to determining appropriate style. Considering the environments, consider your goals. Again, as I said, decide the message that you want to convey. Decide what message your image will project when you meet someone, a stranger or somebody known. A message could be that I want to project myself as someone who is very professional. I want to project myself as someone who is friendly. I want to project my image as someone who is knowledgeable, intelligent, whatever. Decide your goals, the message you want to pass on. Non-verbal communication, that's going to be a non-verbal communication. That will happen in 3 to 7 seconds. That is where to decide beforehand. Decide your goals, consider the environment, consider the clues. What does that mean? It means what is the event about, what are the kind of people that are going to attend this event, whom I am going to meet, what is that person's background. Look for the cues. Consider others' dress. Okay. Ever seen someone, we all go to weddings, again, I come to weddings, since it was a wedding season last month. Ever seen someone wearing jeans and a round neck t-shirt in a wedding party? No. So when we go to weddings, we know that we cannot wear that. It's about that. Consider others' dresses, what other people normally wear in these kind of events or situations. Consider the impression you want to make or leave. Again, brings us to the message that we want to convey. And there's a difference between consider your goals and consider the impression you want to make or leave. The last point is more about how you leave that person feeling. And there's a saying that people never forget how you make them feel. So if you feel a person motivated, he'll remember you for a longer time. Again, we come to pictures. Who do you think can be a better leader?
The last one.
Okay, so we have two groups. And you can
In
choose
second
2,
group,
3.
the third one.
In second group, the third one, okay? So you can also say that, okay, this group or this group.
Second group.
The second group, why?
Attitude,
Okay.
personality, confidence,
Let's go into details.
presence.
This is quite evident that the grooming is not proper, okay, the hairstyles. But how to decide what is proper, what is appropriate and what is not? If I'm meeting this person or if I'm meeting that person for a professional conversation, I'll be distracted. His hair would be my distraction. I'll not be able to concentrate on what he's speaking. Okay? If I'm meeting this person, I'll get a feeling of disgust. And I'm like, the first question I would want to ask him is that, do you bathe every day? Okay? So that will keep running in my mind and I won't be able to concentrate on what he's saying. Correct me if I'm wrong. We all come across people who are not properly groomed, who don't dress properly, who don't sit properly, and that keeps us busy with that thought. And we're not able to listen effectively what that person is saying. Has it ever happened to you? Especially with the candidates? Most of the candidates, even at senior level, they don't know about those non-verbal cues and what the message they send across. Okay. Any questions on this? Anything on grooming? Men on beard? Hairstyles? Any question you want to ask? Okay. Think of questions and we'll be having a question answer session at the end of the session. Alright. Body language. That's an interesting picture there. You cannot not communicate. Even without saying a word, 3 to 7 seconds, it's done. Okay? So imagine Obama standing in front of you, whatever picture you have of Obama in your mind. The moment he does that, okay. For body language, let's start with eyes. Okay? When we meet someone for the first time, the first thing we do is shake hands. I want someone to come here and we'll see what a good handshake is like. Looks like. Yes. Thank you.